So let's face it, we all want to be the man. We all want to be the next James Bond or some other movie badass that women absolutely love. But here's the thing, most of us have a hard time learning how to be that guy. And let me tell you, I was no exception. In fact, I had to go through countless bad experiences and rejections before I finally figured out what women want. And that is exactly what I'm going to reveal to you in today's video by listing the top 7 traits women absolutely love in men. Alright, so number 1, ambition and drive. So first off, let's take a look at the average American man. A guy like this wakes up, goes to a job that he hates, and goes back home to kill time until the next day. He does this 5 times a week while anxiously waiting for the weekend. But when the Friday finally rolls around, he wastes his time by being lazy watching TV, playing video games, or being on his phone. Now think about how unappealing that is, not just to women, but to anyone. I mean, would you date a man like that if you were a woman? I don't think so. You would actually want a guy who is always doing something to improve his life. But now you might be asking, well, how do I become this ambitious guy? Well, it's actually very simple. All you gotta do is to set some small goals for yourself. If you're out of shape, for example, then challenge yourself to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. If you're unsatisfied with your income, then try to make an extra $500 per month. Whatever it is, make sure to recognize it and start working towards that goal. Because once you do that, women are gonna start noticing your efforts. Number 2, good communication skills. So when it comes to talking to women, most men are terrible. And that's because most men think that they have to talk a lot to impress the woman. But let me tell you, women absolutely hate men who talk too much. And that's because if you're the type of guy who can't keep his mouth shut, women will feel like you don't care about what they have to say. What you should actually do, though, is to let the women talk because they love to talk. And as a matter of fact, women on average say around 8,000 words per day, and men say only around 2,000 words per day. And here's a strategy I developed after learning about this fact. Basically, if I'm on the first date with a woman, I let her do 80% of the talking. But I don't just let her ramble about anything, I ask her a lot of questions. This move is extremely powerful because the person who's asking the questions leads the conversation. So if I'm leading, then she's revealing herself to me, and I get to decide if she's the right woman for me while staying mysterious. And don't get me wrong, I reveal something about myself as well, but not nearly as much as the woman. Number 3, sense of humor. So here's the thing, women love men who can make them laugh, but they absolutely hate guys who are overly serious and boring. And I mean, just think about this. Women are dealing with serious men like their bosses, fathers, or professors pretty much all the time. So when they're on a date with someone, the last thing they want is another serious and boring guy. They actually want a man who can help them relax and have fun, and that's when you come in. Now, you don't have to be a stand-up comedian to make her laugh. You just need to know how to lighten the mood and keep things playful. And the simplest way to do this is to act the way you act around your friends. I can bet you that when you're around your friends, you're way more relaxed and you're not afraid to laugh. And that's the kind of vibe you want to bring to the date. So if you want to make a joke, for example, then don't overthink it and just do it. This authentic vibe is going to be much more enjoyable for the both of you, and it will help you open the woman up. Number 4, confidence. So you probably heard this a million times before. I mean, even women sometimes say in interviews that this is what they want in men, but they can't really describe it. Even most men think being confident means that you have to be an arrogant asshole to people. But let me tell you, this is simply not true. Now, let's break down what confidence really is. So in essence, confidence comes from being secure in who you are, without having to belittle other people or being afraid of what others might think of you. But because you're watching this video, then I'm guessing that you're probably not really confident in yourself, especially around women. But let me tell you, the way to fix this is actually very simple. All you have to do is to put yourself out there, just like with everything else in life. I mean, just think about this. The men that are really good with women are confident because they've put themselves out there and got a ton of experience, and now they know what they're capable of. You, on the other hand, never even tried to approach a woman, yet you want to be like James Bond. And trust me, you won't get there by always being afraid of approaching women or by blaming them for your misery. You will only build your confidence by getting experience. Number 5, leadership. So throughout history, the dynamic between men and women has often followed a simple pattern. Men take the lead and women follow. Now, even though the modern world became interesting, to say the least, the fundamental appeal is still the same, because women are still drawn to men who are leaders. However, being a leader is not being controlling or bossy as some men might think. A good leader is actually a man who is decisive, confident, and reliable, and someone who can lead the way when things get tough. Think about the Titanic, for example. While it was sinking, the men on board didn't crumble under pressure, but they made sure all women and children were safe first, even when they were facing death. Now, you don't have to become a national hero to be seen as a leader, but in your everyday life, you should be able to make confident decisions and being a reliable partner. Because at the end of the day, women want to feel secure and be led by a strong man. Number 6. Physical fitness. So believe it or not, but over 39% of adult Americans are either overweight or obese. And here's something you probably don't want to hear. Women are unattracted to fat men. And that's because from an evolutionary perspective, a man who is physically unfit may signal a lack of ability to protect or provide. And that is extremely unattractive. On the other hand, though, women are inherently drawn to men who are fit and in good health. And the reasoning is simple. A strong, fit man suggests better genetics and the potential for offspring who will thrive and survive in the world. Now, in today's world, where women are extremely picky, you just can't afford to be fat, because if you are, then you're robbing yourself of many dating opportunities. Now, you don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger to appear fit. It's actually way simpler than most men might think. In terms of your diet, all you have to do is to eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight and eat roughly 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to build muscle. In terms of exercise, you should walk at least 10,000 steps per day and hit the gym 3 times a week. And on top of all of this, you should get a quality sleep every single night to allow your body to recover. And believe me, once you're gonna be fit, you'll easily beat half the competition of men, and women are gonna pay way more attention to you. Now, before we get to the last point, please make sure to subscribe because I drop bangers like this every single week and you don't want to miss them. Anyways, back to the video. And so number 7, emotional control. So I understand that everybody has bad days, but you can't be the type of guy that often loses his temper, acts impulsively, or gets overwhelmed, because these traits signal mental weakness. And you guessed it, women find it unattractive. And this correlates with the point where I gave you the Titanic example. You have to be able to keep a cool head even when something unpleasant happens. Let's say, for example, that a woman you've approached rejects you. I've seen men totally lose it in these situations, and they look like crying babies. They even tried to argue with the woman or lashed out at her about how unfair dating is. This reaction is the exact opposite of what you should do. The right way to respond is to tell the woman to take your approach as a compliment and then move on with your life. And again, I understand that this is not easy, but being cool and thinking clearly during setbacks and difficult challenges is key, because not only does it help with your mindset and mental health, but this quality is extremely attractive to women. Because if they see that you don't easily lose your composure, they will be able to rely on you in difficult situations. And there you have it, guys. If you got this far, then I appreciate you for hanging out and learning something new. Please make sure to leave a like or a comment and check out this video next where I talk about 6 signs that a woman is into you.